Okay, everybody, will you please rise for the pledge? You need to start 7 o'clock. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
Just stands
one nation, under God,
under God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
liberty and justice for all. First up on the agenda is the chief's meeting minutes. Have we had a chance? I know it came later this afternoon to look at them yet? Or can you browse through them right now? With that said, if you folks are browsing through them right now, Chief, would you do some highlights? Would you like to go through anything?
I got a bunch of stuff for my report, so I'll just wait for that.
Okay, thank you. With that said, right now, can I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Have a second?
Second.
All right, discussion, please.
Nothing. Nothing.
All right, seeing none. We have a motion on the floor to approve with a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye, please.
Aye.
aye,
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Carries 5-0. And Chief's report. Go ahead, sir.
All right, Chief's report. All of the 2020 reports are done. All of the 2020 reports have been sent to the state. PO was cut for emergency reporting. I sent that in today. I'm waiting to hear back from Michelle Chase, who's our representative, to start the process. We had to make them a town vendor, so we had to cut get the W-9 set up and whatnot. So that took a little bit of time. Mock-up budget has been turned in to Tony Securt. Tony, I can't say his last name. I would definitely expect some pretty significant cuts, just from what I'm hearing. So the capital planning for the town was pretty high. So they're going to have to make some pretty big, significant cuts, if you will. And I'm sure we're going to be one of them. So Board of Finance Zoom, when we present the budget, will be February 19th. Is that correct, Tom?
Chief, it's February 17th. It's a Wednesday at 7.
February 7th. Okay. Yeah. So when I dropped the budget off, Tony seemed a little confused on the date. He told me it was the 19th, but I thought it was the 7th. So that's why I'm was kind of confused there. Okay. Let's see. Firehouses still remain closed. There was 22,000 people at the Super Bowl last night, though. Just throwing that out there. Vaccines, we're still status quo from last month. I have nothing new to report on that, except just pure unhappiness. I know we're not in the vaccination phase, but it seems like we're getting a lot of pushback. We keep getting pushed back into different phases. I've had many conversations with some of the Valley Fire Chiefs from Ansonia, Derby, and Shelton. And they also are in the same boat we are, and they also are expressing their unhappiness with the Board of Health. We're going to do the strategic planning with the town at the end of the month. We're still looking at dates on that. As my email, I sent you guys an email in regards to the chief status. All the chiefs have gone back to their neutral positions that we talked about a year ago, as far as maintenance and training and safety. You guys all got that email? You want me to go through it?
I got it. I got it.
Thank you.
I think that's it. Kind of falls under chief's report. I have numerous lengths of hose that failed, a water pump, 2 Mustang suits, a box of equipment ticks, some old chargers for pagers that don't work, some pagers that don't work that can't be fixed. I believe there's 2 thermal imaging cameras in there, the old Scott Eagle Airs that we replaced. There's some hazmat meters. All of that I would like to not surplus, I would like to get rid of. So if I could have your board's blessing on that, I'll take care of it. And then I know Dave was working on the radios, the old radios, getting a inventory. He does have that. I was just wondering what exactly is going to be the plan with those. I know we are going to be giving some to the Valley Fire School for training. And obviously we're going to reprogram some of those for driver portables. But do we have a plan on surplusing those or selling those, or?
As of right now, once we fulfill our needs, we'll go for it from there. So in other words, the donation from the town of Seymour to the Valley Fire School, which is important to occur. The other donation that Deputy Chief Edwards had the request for, we'll fulfill that. And then we'll go from there. And then your idea about driver portables.
Okay.
Do we have to surplus this equipment to be able to donate it under the surplusing policy for the town?
No, we do not, because of the fact how this was purchased back in 2003. So, and the longevity of the equipment and how we're doing it.
Excellent.
Anybody have any questions for the chief? Okay.
And then if you could just add at some point to the, just to get rid of that equipment.
Yeah, we will add that to the new business on the agenda. All right, commissioners report. You received the copy online for the minutes on that. At this time, can I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second, motion to approve.
And discussion.
Good. Good.
Okay, motion to approve with, and a second. If there's no further discussion on this, all those in favor accepting it, say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? So carried. Chair votes aye. 5-0. Angela, any correspondence?
None.
Okay. Financial report to everybody. Mike, did you get anything back from the email I sent to the finance office?
No, I haven't heard anything back from them yet.
Okay. Status quo from our last time, last month when we placed the requisitions and encumbered those monies. So we're still sitting roughly with 15,000 in schooling and education after the other encumbrances, and you're sitting roughly 24,000 in medicals at this time. Repairs and maintenance from Chris and then into Dave right now is $7,500. Those are the significant ones. Anybody have any questions?
Tommy, those numbers reflect open POs as well, so that money's been
Yes.
taken out. Okay.
Correct, chief. Okay, do I have a motion to approve?
Hey, Tom, real quick, if I could.
Yeah, go ahead.
7,500 just past experience. I don't know if that's gonna be enough to make us till July. Do you want to put in a line transfer now or hold off, see how we do? That seems awful low to hold off for another 4 months.
I would rather hold off for time being. That way we can sit down offline and figure
Okay.
out with the chief about where we could want to move money from.
Okay.
Okay, motion to accept the report.
Motion to accept.
A second.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Abstentions will be myself, 4-01. Fire Marshal's report. We have a motion to place on file, please.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
And discussion. I believe, yes, the fire marshal is on board with us. Tim, you want to highlight anything off your report to us?
If there's any questions for the board, you all should have received it. Commissioner Julian, I apologize yet again. Your email doesn't want to stay in my address book. I hope someone forwarded that to you.
Yeah, they did.
But if anyone has any questions or concerns, as I've stated in the past, I try to keep this very, very basic and encourage any questions you may have. And I can certainly hopefully answer them if anyone has anything.
No question?
Okay.
Thank you, Tim. All those in favor of placing it on file, we have a motion, a second, vote signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, abstentions, so carried. Chair votes aye, 5-0. Thank you.
Good night, gentlemen.
Thank you,
Aye.
Tim. Building maintenance. Clay,
Sir.
heating or anything more further?
No, nobody's been there.
All right. Matt, you have anything on other? Mike, you got anything I may have missed?
No, everything looks okay.
The fob system was supposed to be installed today because of the weather, and that was canceled out. I'm now waiting for a date for them to come back to and do the install. We also have a new standalone computer coming to go along with that programming. As that is an update that did come in, and town IT has updated on the computer, so we're set to go when that occurs. Unfinished business. The chief touched upon budget presentation, February 17th at 7 p.m. Angela, I'll need you to file a joint meeting for both chiefs and commissioners. That way everybody and anybody can attend that Zoom meeting with the Board of Finance.
Sure.
And apparatus replacement plan. Chief, you want to speak a little bit on it since you finished tuning it up and sent it to everybody?
Yeah, I don't have it in front of me, but I know I did send it to you guys. So it's kind of tricky in the future. So the biggest thing in that replacement that's kind of a difficult thing to do is the replacement of the 3 trucks that were bought all at the same time. That goes back to some prior administrations where they bought fire trucks almost every year. Again, that's not the 15-year apparatus plan. It's not written in stone, but it's definitely a guidance to exactly what apparatus needs to be replaced next, if you will. Obviously I've asked the town for the $125,000 to put into capital for the tank replacement plan for the tanker this year coming up. I don't think that's going to happen. As I said before earlier, there was a lot of items from different departments from capital planning that needed to be, I think we started with 300,000 and by the end of the meeting, we're at 1.6. So there's definitely going to be some cutting going on there. The town's not going to spend $1.6 million on things. So unless people want their taxes to be extremely high. So I doubt that's going to happen. As far as the trucks go, though, at some point we're going to have to start making some decisions when we get closer to those dates. If everybody could see the columns, I put estimated year. And again, those are estimated, but one of the things is like engine 11, for instance, if we go by that year, that truck will be 32 years old by the time we replace it. So that's definitely not meeting the OSHA or NFPA guidelines. So we may have to do some juggling there. And obviously, our trucks right now, knock on wood, are in good shape. We did put a lot of money into engine 11. So hopefully nothing of that, nothing breaks from here till then. Again, nothing is written in stone. You can also see in the very last column of that, I put estimated price of 2020, or I'm sorry, of 2021. So basically, down the road from now, when whoever goes to the Board of Finance and says, hey, we need, a new engine, they're not going to lock us in on that price. Those are what trucks are going for right now, if we had to go and buy one. But those are just estimates as of this year. Obviously, with the cost of steel and everything else to build a fire truck, prices are just going to go up in the future, I would assume. Really all I have on that. Is there any questions on that? Everybody can see the years of the trucks that they were made. So again, we're in a situation where three of the trucks out of that entire fleet are all 97, 98, 99. And I don't foresee the town doing, buying three of them at once or anything like that. So it's just something that in the future, we don't have to talk about it tonight, obviously, but in the future, that's something we're going to have to look at.
Mike, I had a question about the maintenance per year per truck. Do we do anything like that? Just
so I did
look,
I did look into that. I know we talked about it. I looked Sunday at the firehouse on the computer in the chief's office. The most current one I have was from 2018. Chris, do you have a current run on what trucks dollar wise this year?
I do not, because I have not gotten any invoices on any repairs from
Your audio's dead, Chris.
Chris, you're either floating around or we lost you.
In well over a year. I've asked for them and they never showed up. For the mean, as far as final invoices on what's been repaired, how much it's cost. In my mail.
Lost them.
Yep.
Oh.
How about now? Can you guys hear me?
Much
We
better.
got you. Yeah.
My phone was having technical difficulties. I apologize. I have not had any invoices turned in to me. I asked a few times. I used to get them in my mailbox well over a year ago. I have not gotten any. So therefore, I cannot do reports and put them in Firehouse on what stuff's cost me. So the answer to that is no, because I don't see the final invoices that come in.
Who used to give them to you?
When Clay was the finance manager, he gave them to me. And then when Tommy took over, he was doing it and then it stopped. So it's going to go whoever does the finance. And when they pay the bill and get the final bill and sign off on the PO, it's supposed to go from there. And then a copy is supposed to go to my mailbox to be inputted in the Firehouse software and put in the file of the appropriate apparatus. I can do a approximate, but I can't do a final and get it down to the penny because I don't have the final invoices. So whether Board of Finance isn't giving them over or whatever the deal is, I don't know.
We have all the people right here. Why don't we fix this now?
I can answer that real quick. Since COVID and under the new financial system that the finance office is using, all the stuff goes there, and then it gets PDF'd and put on file electronically into the system. I can ask more on how to break that down to get those reports out, but everything goes online and gets copied and put aside electronically now. The days of the file that we can pull stuff out easily into the office isn't happening at this moment.
Mike, if you want, I can send you 2018. I know it's, far.
Yeah, well, it's just something, I
Yeah.
don't know, it's important right today. It's important,
Right.
like you said, 2 years, whenever we're looking at this, at
Mhm.
these proposed dates. It'd be
Absolutely.
nice just to have a running average of what's going on.
Yeah, when we went in front of the Board of Finance for the new engine 13, we had all data and that came in handy. We did keep track of that, but whatever the reason is, the new software, whatever, we just don't have that information anymore.
Okay. Any other old business from the commissioners that we may have missed?
Yeah, nothing.
Nothing.
Okay. Go to new business. I'd like to ask for a motion to place on the agenda to destroy and remove the out of service equipment that we currently have. Have a motion, please.
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, abstentions? Chair votes aye, so carried 5-0. We will make that item item B under new business. All right, starting at new business, item A, presentation of tax abatement information from the company captains. John, I know I saw yours, it was sent. Pete, you were receiving end of it. Have you gotten material?
I got it from Citizens. I'm still waiting on Great Hill. Reached out to Quinn last week and he forwarded my message to the officers.
Tom, you and Mike Julian were emailed all the information by Gary Parkasevich last Monday night.
Hold on a second, Jeff. Oh,
I emailed it to Gary and he emailed it that night to you and Mike.
Mike, do you have it? Because I don't see it in mine.
Yeah, I did see it. I'll forward it on to Pete.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can we,
Right.
are we gonna have a discussion on that or are we just having a motion? I'm sorry.
We can have a discussion on it.
I just had a question. So, we finished up the reports yesterday and, just looking at some of the numbers, we have a lot of firefighters who either meet, either 100 points, 125 points or 150 points, but they're not at their 30 call mark for the year. Now with that being said, where do we stand with that? Is that something that we're going to excuse this year? Because in previous emails I've stated, obviously, if you don't feel safe or feel comfortable coming out during the COVID, we don't have the vaccines yet, stuff like that. I do have firefighters who have, said to me, hey, I'm not coming out. But they've made, we've made some changes with drills and meetings and stuff where those people did get points enough to make the criteria, but they didn't have enough calls. Is that something we're going to waive or, I just wanted to have a discussion about it.
Chief, I thought we discussed it last month when we were all talking about it, that since you has that ability to waive it for eligibility for active membership, then that was automatically included. That's why we just included meetings and drills that were canceled and gave everybody across the board credit for those. You waived the 30 calls, so however the formula figures out, not in allowing them to do so. If they make the points, they make the points. The 30 calls should not prohibit anybody if they have a point value.
Yeah. So, that doesn't mean that, just for clarification, so that doesn't mean that every Seymour firefighter is getting a tax abatement. But what that means is that they may not receive $1,000, but they may receive 500 for a tax abatement.
Okay.
Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
So I have a question then. The firehouse abatement reports will be incorrect because they exclude people if they do not make the 30 calls. There's no way we can override that in the report. So you will have to go manually down it and look at everybody's total points to determine it, not just by the tax abatement report. Because it says 0 in places where people did not make the 30 calls, but may have made 180 points. So they need to be corrected manually.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, just to comment on what Jeff is saying. So Firehouse software, the way that is set up and the way it divides calls, drills, meetings, public events, they're all categorized. So, when we do a run form, if you didn't make a call, it just goes in as a 0. If you didn't make any calls, it goes in as a 0. So everything's, categorized, training events, so that's why that may have to be done manually. That's kind of why I was asking that question.
So that means that the worksheets that each captain provided or worksheets should be provided so that they can be reviewed to make those corrections before we turn them in.
Correct.
Okay.
The other thing I would do is, I know Rory had done a sheet in regards to the membership and point wise. That may be something the captains want to print off and go over with members. Especially members that aren't receiving the tax abatement or members that are not receiving the $1,000. So they kind of know where they stand and why they stand where they are, if that makes any sense. Just a thought.
Okay. Captain Rouse and Jeff, you're on board with this. How hard is this going to be to accomplish?
It'll be tedious. I mean, it's not something we can't do. As Jeff said, we can't override that report with the way it's set up. It's blanking you out if you don't have enough calls. So there's no way to just go in there and excuse that portion of it. As far as overriding it manually, I mean, if there is a worksheet that exists and we can plug and play the point numbers there and just generate a number of points and correspond the number of points to a dollar amount, we could do it. It just, like I said, it'll be tedious more than anything.
Can that data be exported into Excel?
No, I think
No.
The way Firehouse has got it, if you were to like cut and copy it, if you will, it'll come up all over the place.
Yeah,
Firehouse
Pete, I
software
had
is-
enough issues with Firehouse trying to export it to a PDF to send to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to print it and scan it.
Yeah,
So exporting to Excel is really not an option, but with the
Right.
worksheet that we can run out of it, it'd be plug and play. That's why I'm saying it's more of a tedious venture than anything.
Firehouse
If
software is not a friendly cat to play with.
If I may, the tax abatement report, it gives a total number of points the person earned, their name, their address, and then it either puts the dollar amount or it puts 0 if they're excluded. I know at Gray Hill, I'm only talking about maybe 6 people that made some kind of points, but were excluded for no calls or low calls. I think in Citizens, you're only talking like 10 because it's highlighted in yellow when you pull up the
Yeah,
report.
if that.
So
Yeah.
all we really have to do is make a manual correction where instead of it says 0, if they got 100 points, it means they've got $500. If they've got over 125 points, we put down 750. If and if they've got 100 over 150, we put down 1,000. We just have to. I'm only talking like 6 people at Gray Hill. Maybe your points are still your points. We're just gonna basically ignore the highlighted boxes. And for example, in Citizens, I know for a fact because it's at the top of the list, Todd Andrews it says 0 for him, even though he has like 180 points.
Yeah.
So
And that's
it's just,
it's all a matter of how you want to break it down. If you just want a spreadsheet with name, number of points, dollar value, we could do that.
yeah, well, that's
or
what the abatement report is.
Yeah.
So we just have to make the corrections wherever it has a yellow box. If that's what you want us to do.
Correct. I'd like you to accomplish that. That way in this COVID year, we've made some progress in supporting it with everybody and what they've done for us. And then continue, when you do that, please send it to Commissioner Sampieri.
Yeah, by no means do I mean to make the captain's job more difficult, but I just, with this year and everything that's been going on with the pandemic, older members, and I'm not making fun of older members or being disrespectful by any means, but like they've come to me and said they couldn't do the calls. So they tried to do other things to not do the calls. So I'm just trying to meet them halfway, if you will. And obviously in a volunteer system, with everything that's going on, I don't think we can totally force people to do the calls either, if that makes any sense. And again, I think we're only talking like, about 16 people.
I agree. I don't think we should penalize them for, being told to stay away. Like I said, I just wanted to make sure we were clarified on how you wanted it presented.
Okay. Thank you two gentlemen for doing this. We appreciate it. All right. Item B, it's going to be, and Chief, I'll turn it back to you on this. It's going to be a listing of equipment you want to remove.
To get rid of, you mean?
Correct. Destroy, get
Okay.
rid of.
So I have multiple lengths of 5-inch hose, some 1 3/4, some forestry line. I have one sub pump that is it's probably older than me. So we need to get rid of that. I have 2 Mustang suits that are beyond repair. We've already repaired them once. We did some water training. They were leaking quite a bit. So they are the older ones of the fleet. So 2 Mustang suits. Upstairs in the chief's office, there's a box that has numerous thermal imaging cameras that are unserviceable, do not work. Those were the Scott Eagle Airs that we replaced with the MSA ticks over the last 2 years. Also the meters, there's no more sensors for those that we could buy. That's why we bought new meters. There are some pagers up there, Monitor 4s, that are unfixable. They just have seen their day, and some base chargers that go with that. I can't think of anything else that's actually in that box. But if we could go ahead, if you gentlemen can make a motion to have us get rid of that equipment.
Gentlemen, may I have a motion on the floor to get rid of the non-functioning equipment?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of destroying the equipment signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Chair votes aye, carried 5-0. Thank you, Chief. You can take care of that.
And I'll make arrangements to get that equipment to the dump and get it destroyed.
Any other new business that come before this board? Going once, going twice. Seeing none, Chief's requisitions?
We have none.
Okay, thank you. Commissioners' comments. Matt,
I'm good.
Pete,
No, all set.
Clay,
All set.
Mike,
Just the, I don't know if we need to remind whoever the powers that be at the town about the finance system, so I could get input into that. Not sure what we need to do. And also, how do we update the website? Because Dan Cooper still listed as a commissioner from Great Hill.
I talked with Rory today. The commissioner's website and the chief's website with people have to be updated. So it's on his list when he gets, to do it.
Thank you.
With that, chair has none. Up for adjournment, gentlemen. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor of adjournment signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? So carried. Chair votes aye, 5-0. Thank you, everybody. Have a good evening.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, guys.